Confession time. I am a huge nerd and I love organizing things. A well thought out file structure, labeled bins, all of that stuff brings me so much joy. And I have a feeling if you clicked on this video, it probably brings you joy too. So today I need to do some organizing because as you can probably tell, I'm back from my latest van trip and I have stuff everywhere, both digitally and physically. So I thought I'd bring you along through my routines for staying organized as a content creator, from organizing my footage, labeling my B-roll, to making sure my gear is well organized and my batteries are charged. I really believe that organization is key to consistency, and consistency is the key to success as a content creator. But it's not just consistency. You also need a growth strategy that works for you and an editing style that keeps your audience engaged. If you want help with getting any of that stuff figured out, then my team at Creatorly Media is currently accepting new YouTube clients. You can check out all the details in the description, but more on that later. So let me share with you my favorite routines for being a little nerd and staying organized as a creator. First up, I have some maintenance to do on my B-roll library. As you've probably noticed in my videos, I love to include lots of B-roll, so me doing whatever I'm kind of talking about in the A-roll. I just find this keeps my videos a lot more visually interesting and engaging and fast-paced. I think it really adds to the vibe. And so I've gotten a lot of questions from people about how I keep my B-roll organized. So I'm finally gonna show you my system, and it starts with this. I keep pretty much all of my footage on external hard drives. I have one for my personal brand, my Katie Steckly stuff, and then I also have one for my vlog channel. This just keeps my computer running faster, and it means I don't like fill up this hard drive with everything. First thing you need to know, I did not set out one day and say, I am going to create an extensive B-roll library for myself today. Like, I didn't film all of this all at once. It wasn't like a huge undertaking that just happened overnight. This is something I've slowly built up over time. As I have recorded B-roll for other videos where it was kind of necessary, I would gather those clips and organize them in one sort of like larger library that I can now draw from in other videos. And so because of that, it means when I film new stuff, then I have to go and reorganize stuff so I can make sure that those clips are gonna be available to me when I need them in the future. So that's what we're doing today. But first, why don't I give you a little tour of what this library looks like. Okay, so this is just my hard drive overall and how I've got everything organized. So if I go into my YouTube folder, and then we'll go to my assets folder at the top here, then you can see I've got this folder for B-roll. I also, and I've showed this in a previous video, but I also have like my animations, my emojis, my music, that kind of stuff in here. So if we go into B-roll, this is where the beauty really is. So I've organized this sort of by theme or by use case, because obviously I have certain topics that I talk about on my channel, so it's most useful for me to have that B-roll organized by what topic it's associated with. So I've got my Instagram creation B-roll, I've got my YouTube creation B-roll, I've got general lifestyle, I've got general work, so like me at my laptop, me at my desk, that kind of thing. And then I've also got stuff that I've done for other brands in the past, so I kind of like keep that in my back pocket because I work with a lot of the brands multiple times. Then I've got some stuff that's specific that I probably won't use again, but it's good to have on hand just in case. And then some stuff that I've kind of put in my old folder, and then some travel related stuff. And so as I film new things and that kind of ends up in my general YouTube folders over here, I will copy over just the relevant B-roll that I think could be useful again, and I'll organize it into these folders. The other really important thing about this is I label it. So if we go into Instagram creation, for instance, you can see that all of these video clips have like a searchable name pretty much. So I've got like clip of phone while filming a reel or TikTok, digital illustration on iPad, filming a reel or TikTok on my phone on a tripod, filming B-roll on my phone in Sunday Studio, shooting Instagram content, and some of them you'll see there's numbers because it's a series of clips that were all like done at the same time. So it makes sense for me to use multiple of them at once. I'll admit I didn't used to do this, and it made it so confusing because all of my B-roll files were just like C001, C00712, and then I didn't know what it was. And of course, yeah, you can scrub through the clip and look at what the visuals are, but it's so much quicker to have the file name. If we open up Premiere Pro, you'll really see what I mean. Okay, so this is my current Premiere Pro project, and you see that I always have over here my assets, my B-roll, and my music uploaded into my kind of project template. So if we open up B-roll, just a little drop down, you can see I have the exact same file structure here as I have in my folder in like Finder. So I've just imported it directly. And if we drop down on Instagram creation, again, you can see all of the titles of these different clips. So what this means is I can just read through it really quickly to find something relevant to put into my timeline. And then of course I can bring it into the source panel to double check it. Now there is the option of like opening up the folder and changing it over to thumbnail so I can see the visuals, and sometimes I'll do that too, but it's so quick, especially, you know, if I don't have this all open, but I know that I have a clip of me filming a TikTok, I can just search filming TikTok and I've got my clip. So that's how it's set up. So like I said, we've got some maintenance to do now because I have filmed B-roll recently that I would like to categorize. So what I'll do is I am just gonna go into the folder where I filmed it, and it was for this one, and open up my B-roll library. And this will probably be a lifestyle clip. So what I will do is just copy it and paste it over here. Now it's down here, obviously not labeled, so now we're gonna label it. Stepping out of van with forest background. And that's pretty much my process. I think I'm gonna copy over a few more of these because this is basically me walking along the sidewalk, and this could be used in the future. You never know. So I will copy both of those. And so what I like to do with this type of thing, because they definitely would be like effective used in sequence, because sometimes you want to have two B-roll clips of the same scene, one after the other, to kind of make it a little more dynamic. So I'm going to give them a similar name so they're grouped together when it's sorted by name. So I'll call the first one Walking Through the City in the Summer 1, and the second one I'll call Walking Through the City in the Summer 2. Now, obviously, to keep my Premiere Pro project file up to date, what I'm gonna do is, this is all just lifestyle stuff. So in the lifestyle folder, I will just sort this by date created so we can surface the stuff that I've just added. And then over here, I'm gonna open up my lifestyle panel, and we will select all the ones I've just done and just click and drag them into that folder. So now they're here in my lifestyle folder in Premiere Pro, ready for me to add to my next video. So hopefully that's not too overwhelming. I know it might seem like a lot, but really all you need to do to get started with this is create a folder, call it B-roll. Inside that folder, create a few thematic folders. So whatever that is for you. For my channel, it's like Instagram creation, YouTube creation, lifestyle, and work. Maybe for you, it's like journaling, doing yoga, cooking, making coffee. Whatever you think are like staple topics that are gonna come up again and again in your videos, create those folders, and then don't stress yourself out about filming a bunch of B-roll all at once. Just slowly film more B-roll for each of the videos that you're making. It'll make your videos in the meantime better, and then you can store up that B-roll in those organized folders for future use. Here's the other important thing you need to know about using B-roll. You don't have to wait until you've built up your own custom library of B-roll of you to start making your videos more visually engaging. All you need to do is check out the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. You probably noticed in my B-roll library, I had a folder for Storyblocks, and that is because I love using their stock footage, their animation templates, and all of their different visual assets to make my videos more interesting. So if you're not familiar, Storyblocks is an online stock media library where you can have access to all kinds of great animation templates, stock footage, music, sound effects, all for one simple subscription. It's not like other stock footage websites where you have to pay per clip and it can add up so quickly. You just have one monthly or annual subscription, and then you can download as much as you want. For example, if you need a stock footage clip of the Eiffel Tower glimmering at night, you can find that on Storyblocks. If you need an aesthetic clip that represents planning a trip, girl, you can find that. There's also tons of great like textures and backgrounds. I personally love using this paper one a lot, and this like film flicker one you probably recognize, both from Storyblocks. Everything you need to make your YouTube videos more engaging and interesting, you can find that on Storyblocks. Check them out at the link in my description, or go to storyblocks.com/Katie. So organizing footage is obviously important, but you gotta actually film that footage at some point, which requires some pre-planning. So let's talk about how I keep my content calendar organized. So let me give you a little tour of my Notion. It might be a bit overwhelming, it might be a bit unhinged, but to me, it feels organized. So this is my content calendar. This is pretty much my overall look at the content that I have coming up. I do have different ways of organizing this. Like this would be for YouTube only. This is for Instagram and TikTok only, but I do pretty much look at the overall most of the time. So let's just look at this week and our next few upcoming weeks. You can see that every Tuesday I've got my YouTube videos. I am trying to post on my vlog channel on Sundays, obviously not as often. And then I've got some reels scheduled in here as well. I promise there is a method to my madness. Like in my brain, I kind of have like what my typical weekly schedule looks like, which would be like Sunday vlog channel upload, Tuesday main channel upload, Thursday reel. Then that's kind of what I consider under my like personal sort of side of things. And then we also have the Creatorly Media calendar. Every week we publish a podcast on Monday as well as a companion blog post that's just the same content as the podcast. And we release the creator letter on Monday. So all of that's kind of tied together under the same theme. So that's what these are. So this week's theme was the guide to threads. Next week we've got urban legends about the Instagram algorithm and so on. And then we've also got content scheduled here for the Creatorly Instagram. All of this stuff is managed by Shelby from my team. And of course I record the podcast. I approve all the content, but Shelby's really the creator of all of that. So that's my content calendar. I have it planned out like quite a bit in advance. If we go to August, you'll see I've got my YouTube videos, like the sponsors are already slotted in for those up until like into October. And normally I come up with the concepts like 1 or 2 weeks out. Speaking of concepts, that's another important side to my content calendar. So if we go over to my YouTube ideas, I've got a list of just video ideas here that haven't been assigned yet to a deadline or anything like that. So just kind of like, this is my idea dump area where when I come up with YouTube video ideas, I'll just like throw it in here. And then when I'm like 1 or 2 weeks out from publishing a video and I'm starting to script it and get that all solidified, I can go here to find inspiration. So obviously organization as a creator goes beyond just the digital. We have our gear to deal with, and this is how I deal with mine. I got these clear bins just from the dollar store, and my friend Sarah helped me label them with these cute kind of retro looking labels. And I try to make sure that I put away my gear after I finish using it so that everything can stay properly organized, because before this cabinet was quite chaotic. And yeah, hopefully this can prove to you that you don't need any kind of fancy storage. You don't need a whole studio or a gear closet. I just use this IKEA TV stand and bins from the dollar store. The final routine that I have in place for my organization is about weekly maintenance. The way I stay on top of this is I put weekly recurring tasks in my Notion like planner page. So I have a reminder for myself at the end of every week to clean up my desktop on my computer, clean up the downloads folder, because sometimes when I'm getting stuff off the internet or taking screenshots, I do end up saving some things directly on my laptop and I end up copying it over to my hard drive, but I want to make sure that I clear up all that extra stuff. Plus, something that I really try hard to do is go through my photos on my phone and cull them. A lot of people wonder like how you can manage mobile like photo and video storage, and this is what I do. I have a subscription for Google Photos. Basically, it'll automatically back up what's in my camera roll and save it to like Google Drive essentially. And then what I do is I only keep on my phone what's strictly necessary. So stuff that basically are the good versions of the photos that I took when I took like a dozen, and videos that I think could be helpful as B-roll on stories or in reels. Obviously I can always go and download this stuff off of Google Photos, but it's a lot quicker to keep some things that I use all the time just directly on my phone. Honestly, I could be better at doing this because I put it off because going through your phone photos and like deleting stuff you don't need is pretty boring, but it's important to do because otherwise your phone is gonna fill up like that. So I'm gonna put in a podcast and go through my camera roll, and I will catch you on the other side. My personal workflow for this, which I have found to be the easiest way to do this on an iPhone, is to start by selecting the images that you want to keep. Go through your recents and pick out the best photos and put them into categorized albums. Similar to what I do with my B-roll on my laptop, I like to make my folders thematic. So I've got a travel one, a content creation one, and then once everything that you want to keep is in your albums, go through each album, select all the photos, and then hide them. This will protect them from being deleted during the next step. Finally, go back to your recents feed and select everything that's there, because that's everything that's not hidden, and you're gonna delete it. Then you go back to your hidden media, select it all, unhide it, and it'll automatically show up in the folders where you organize them to. So that is how I stay organized as a content creator. And like I was saying, I really believe that organization is key to consistency, and consistency is honestly essential for growth. If you struggle with staying consistent on YouTube or just knowing the right strategies to grow your channel, then I did just want to let you know that my creative agency, Creatorly Media, is currently accepting new YouTube clients. We help our clients with all of the aspects of growing a healthy channel on YouTube, including your strategy and your content planning, but also editing videos. So if any of that is something that you need help with, then check out Creatorly Media at the link in the description. If you want to see some more of my advice that I've posted here on YouTube, then you can check out this video where I talk about what I would do if I was starting a brand new YouTube channel from scratch in 2023. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!